Ringo Starr. More Ringo Starr. The best Ringo Starr albums of all time. 419 of 904. Celebrity Death Pool 2021. 60 of 532. The best drummers of all time. Ozzy Osbourne. More Ozzy Osbourne. Inside Ozzy Osbourne's Rough and Tumble Youth. 5 of 392. The greatest heavy metal bands of all time. 22 of 156. The best hair metal bands of all time. Josh Groban. More Josh Groban. The best Josh Groban albums of all time. 13 of 14. Celebrities with unexpectedly funny Instagram accounts. 274 of 464. The greatest pop groups and artists of all time. Joe Strummer. More Joe Strummer. 97 of 193. Rock stars whose deaths were the most untimely. 133 of 525. Which artist would you bring back from the dead to write one more song? 91 of 178. The best solo artists who used to front a band. Barry Gibb. More Barry Gibb. 18 of 816. These poetic geniuses wrote your favorite songs of all time. 90 of 213. The greatest rock songwriters of all time. 15 of 103. The greatest English pop singers. Eddie Vedder. More Eddie Vedder. 32 of 136. Famous accordionists. 8 of 32. Rock stars who have aged surprisingly well. 368 of 439. Famous men you'd want to have a beer with. Sam Cooke. More Sam Cooke. Rising soul singer Sam Cooke perished under mysterious circumstances in 1964. And the case is still unsolved. 58 of 265. Rank the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees. 171 of 219. The top pop artists of the 1960s. Bing Crosby. More Bing Crosby. The best Bing Crosby albums of all time. 419 of 1017. The best actors in film history. 41 of 114. The worst Oscar-winning actors ever. Otis Redding. More Otis Redding. The best Otis Redding albums of all time. 135 of 753. People we wish were still alive. 12 of 100. The greatest Motown artists of all time. Jim Morrison. More Jim Morrison. 559 of 583. The greatest entertainers of all time. 5 of 154. The druggiest rock stars of all time. 4 of 152. The greatest musicians who died before 40. Adam Lambert. More Adam Lambert. The best Adam Lambert albums of all time. 161 of 242. The hottest men of 2019. Ranked 192 of 1019. The worst bands and musicians of all time. John Mellencamp. More John Mellencamp. The best John Mellencamp albums of all time. 75 of 263. The greatest classic rock bands. 166 of 383. The greatest musical artists of the 90s. Don Henley. More Don Henley. The best Don Henley albums of all time. 27 of 356 musicians who belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. 23 of 294. The best pop artists of the 1980s. Axl Rose. More Axl Rose 1319 of 1355 The greatest minds of all time 50 of 271 The sexiest musical artists of all time 448 of 489 Things that are not as cool as people think they are. Phil Collins. More Phil Collins The best Phil Collins songs of all time 16 of 17 The most infamous rock and roll urban legends 29 of 465 The greatest musical artists of the 80s. Lionel Richie. Lionel Richie. Jimin. More Jimin 7 of 55 The best new male artists 1 of 165 The best K-pop dancers of all time 11 of 138 The best K-pop singers of all time. Plcido Domingo. More Plcido Domingo 148 of 153 The greatest opera singers of all time 29 of 71 The greatest tenors of all time 15 of 83 The greatest living opera singers. Dimash Kudaibergen. More Dimash Kudaibergen 108 of 192 The hottest men of 2021. Ranked 36 of 196 The greatest male pop singers of all time 191 of 1891 The greatest musical artists of all time. Bruno Mars. More Bruno Mars The best Bruno Mars songs 26 of 125 Current singers you most wish you could sound like 41 of 461 The best current pop groups/singers. Kurt Cobain. More Kurt Cobain 15 crazy but true stories about Nirvana 1 of 29 members of the 27 Club 326 of 403 famous role models we'd like to meet in person. Johnny Cash. More Johnny Cash The best Johnny Cash songs of all time 27 of 162 1970s Christian pop artists 288 of 2443 The most influential people of all time. Matthew Bellamy. More Matthew Bellamy 388 of 542 The greatest guitarists of all time 179 of 639 The greatest lead guitarists of all time 198 of 298 The best frontmen in rock. Robert Plant. More Robert Plant The best Robert Plant albums of all time 25 of 225 The greatest living rock songwriters 26 of 316 The greatest singers of the past 30 years. Bob Marley. More Bob Marley 18 things most people don't know about Bob Marley 50 of 739 The best singers of all time 70 of 603 The best rock vocalists. Michael Jackson. More Michael Jackson The best Michael Jackson songs of all time The first time Michael Jackson moonwalked on stage the world lost its mind 258 of 403 famous role models we'd like to meet in person. Enrico Caruso. Alice Cooper. More Alice Cooper the best Alice Cooper albums of all time 12 of 392 The greatest heavy metal bands of all time 12 of 156 The best hair metal bands of all time. Steve Perry. More Steve Perry 512 of 904 Celebrity Death Pool 2021 14 of 298 The Best Frontmen in Rock 124 of 465 The Greatest Musical Artists of the 80s. Dean Martin. More Dean Martin The Best Dean Martin Albums of All Time 118 of 339 The Funniest People of All Time 137 of 302 The Greatest Actors Who Have Never Won an Oscar for Acting. Andrea Bocelli. Andrea Bocelli. Jon Bon Jovi. Jon Bon Jovi. Paul McCartney. More Paul McCartney The Best Paul McCartney Songs 85 of 269 The Most Trustworthy Celebrities in the World 2 of 225 The Greatest Living Rock Songwriters. Ricky Nelson. More Ricky Nelson The Best Ricky Nelson Albums of All Time 54 of 291 The Top Country Artists of All Time 38 of 186 The Best Male Country Singers of All Time. Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye. Prince. Prince. Chris Cornell. More Chris Cornell. Chris Cornell's 12 Most Amazing Vocal Performances 20 of 193 Rock Stars Whose Deaths Were the Most Untimely 87 of 316 The Greatest Singers of the Past 30 Years. Billy Joel. More Billy Joel The Best Billy Joel Songs of All Time 9 of 136 Famous Accordionists 61 of 1728 The Best Rock Bands of All Time. George Michael. George Michael. Paul Simon. Paul Simon. Nat King Cole. More Nat King Cole The Best Nat King Cole Albums of All Time 42 of 525 Which artist would you bring back from the dead to write one more song? 50 of 583 The Greatest Entertainers of All Time. Luciano Pavarotti. Luciano Pavarotti. Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder. Elton John. More Elton John The Best Elton John Songs, ranked by fans 27 of 263 The Greatest Classic Rock Bands 562 of 1355 The Greatest Minds of All Time. David Bowie. David Bowie. John Lennon. More John Lennon 28 Facts You Didn't Know About John Lennon 15 Conspiracies About John Lennon's Death That People Truly Believe The Best John Lennon Songs. Elvis Presley. John Fogerty. John Fogerty. Frank Sinatra. More Frank Sinatra The Best Frank Sinatra Albums of All Time 83 of 356 musicians who belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. 495 of 542 the greatest guitarists of all time. Freddie Mercury. More Freddie Mercury, all about Mary Austin. The love of Freddie Mercury's life. 1 of 739, the best singers of all time. 1 of 603, the best rock vocalists.
Hey guys, thank you so much for the support and likes and comments down below, and also thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to see you in the next video. Then take care, bye.